I'm glad that that's coming across because it was a conscious choice. We talked about that from very early days. That that we wanted to change the face of that dynamic because we've seen it play out so many different ways. The classic, guys, angling towards some sort of showdown over the girl, but we didn't like, what position does that put the woman in to a prize to be fought over? Just didn't seem very interesting. Or very fair because her character's so strong and Michelle's such a strong actress. They just didn't feel like that was the right way to go. So, we talked about it. We also, every conversation was also, how do you bring in, is there a possibility for some humor here? Is there a possibility for a little more humanity here? And when we sort of landed in this place, like Ruben and I talked early on about, well, what about if Dr. Dan is just a fan of Eddie Brock's? Like even before he would have met Anne, I sort of pictured Dr. Dan coming home from a long day at the hospital, like putting on Eddie's, his sort of Vice newsy kind of segment. Dr. Dan is not a badass by any means. He's a good doctor, but he's not a tough guy. So maybe he, kind of idolizes Eddie Brock because he's a true badass, hard-boiled investigative journalist. And yeah, I mean, there was some scenes. We had a lot of fun shooting this stuff and trying it all different ways. And there were some that were just so silly where Dr. Dan's like practically swooning over. It's like, oh my God, Eddie Brock. I've always found no matter how high the stakes are or how intense a piece gets, there's always, I mean, this goes way back too to like, I mean, Greek tragedies and stuff like that. There has to be humor because humor is human. People would be surprised how many times it's like, you get so scared, you laugh. You're so sad, you cry, and the crying turns to laughter. So there's always this undercurrent of humor. And it's also, I mean, to me, that's one of the things that humor is not only, contagious, but it's universal. And I think it was very important to find those moments. You don't want to make it a comedy because it's Venom. Venom's not a comic character. He's a head biting, gut slicing symbiote alien badass. But the humor, especially in a movie like this, when you go on a ride, you want to have it all. You want to have, there's got a little bit of the romance, got a lot of action. You've got this great psychodrama that plays out. You've got, there's, some political intrigue and things like that. But the humor is just, it cuts in just the right moment. He's a good man, which is why a character like Michelle's character Anne is attracted to him. She's a bit of a do-gooder herself. She was on the wrong side at one point, but she's making right. She's a good, strong attorney. So it stood to reason that if someone that he cares about has someone that she cares about, and this person needs help, well, he's going to help that person because he cares about her. On top of that, the whole Hippocratic oath of being a doctor is someone, first do no harm and then, try to help this patient. And then when the mystery starts to unravel a little bit, even though Dr. Dan's, a bit in the dark as to, what's really going on here, he sees something is truly troubling about Eddie's condition. And I think he's not only, compelled to help, but I think he's also just very intrigued. So the science side of Dr. Dan kicks in. It's like, let's get to the bottom of this problem. Let's solve this problem. But obviously, the stakes are heightened because, again, one, he's in love with Anne and he wants to help her, help someone that she cares about, but two, because she's like, God damn, he wants to help Eddie Brock. He loves it. He loves him some Eddie Brock. I think it's just fun, and also, I mean, I'm not a young man anymore. So it's a grown up superhero movie. There's a little, it's darker. It's a little more adult. It challenges the audience in a way that I think the best superhero movies do, but this one absolutely nails that. So, when I'm talking to my buddies, it's like we're excited to just see a good movie. that happens to be, from the Marvel universe.